Ladies and gentlemen, if the last week of price action in the market has proved anything, it's proved that the important thing we need to focus on is the longer term structure and longer term macro formations. Okay, that's the simple truth. All this short term nonsense that you can look at on Bitcoin ignores the fundamental reality of how Bitcoin moves. 4-year cycle, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that matters on Bitcoin on a macro scale. Every single bloody ounce of price action that we've seen in 2012 has been coherent within the umbrella trend that is the 4-year cycle, the date range trend that has predicted every single top and bottom on Bitcoin. Therefore, the short-term price action, what happens on the hourly chart, what happens on the daily chart, even what happened the other day with a massive drop down on Bitcoin and an even bigger drop down on the altcoin market with Ethereum dropping 40% in a matter of 36 hours, even that is irrelevant as long as the macro structures remain intact. Ladies and gentlemen, they have remained intact. I'm going to be reminding you what's important today, reminding you of the things you actually need to care about, not the nonsense that people tell you to care about. Before we get into it, check out the Bitcoin exchange. It's global, non-KYC, meaning you can sign up from literally anywhere in the world, regardless of what country you're from, and it takes you 15 seconds to do so with just an email address and a password. You don't even need to link your identity to the exchange if you don't want to. You can if you do. Very low in trading fees, never been hacked before, historically very, very reliable, and of course, hundreds of trading pairs. You cannot go wrong. That's why I'm telling you about it. They don't pay me to speak about them. I get paid in my referral link down below, and that's what I'm offering you. With that referral link, it's not just a win for me, it's a win for you as well. You get a 15% trading fee discount with that referral link attached to your account for life. On top of that, BitGet exchange. If you want an alternative option, you don't like Bitcoin for whatever reason, you can check out BitGet. It's top 5 in trading volume worldwide. Very limited amount of liquidity issues for that reason. It's been around for a long period of time as well. And again, a 15% trading fee discount with that link down below on BitGet. You just can't access it from the USA, unfortunately. So keep that in mind. Guys, let's get into the content. So there's a few reasons why the drop the other day was so interesting. And basically, we can get into the short-term reasons if we want to. We already did that yesterday and the day before. But the main reasons in relation to the macro, okay? The macro structure on Bitcoin is not based on horizontal levels. It's been based on horizontal levels in the past. For example, it was based on horizontal levels here. There was a clear structured resistance and a clear structured support. We bounced between those ranges for a long period of time and eventually broke outwards. That was a horizontal structure, horizontal macro structure. This level right here was a patterned macro structure. So we had a descending channel formation and we bounced within that channel formation for a period of time and then broke outwards. Right here is not really a pattern. It's not really horizontal either. It's actually based on diagonal lines stemming backwards from previous cycles. So we look at the line back here from 2017 in orange, and you can see, go ahead and switch to the linear chart. You can see very clearly it stems from the peak in 2017 through to the peaks in 2021, and then 2 retests separately within a month period of time from December to January. That is clearly our macro resistance zone, and hence that is clearly the level that Bitcoin needs to break in order to confirm the next leg to the upside. Until that is broken, we haven't done so. The support zone stems from this yellow level back from 2021, both peaks in 2021 and multiple retests. We'll zoom into the short-term chart now so you can see it. Multiple retests on the daily channel, literally 3, 4, 5, 6 separate retests on short-term time frames. That is clearly the support zone we need to be watching right now. And until that support zone breaks or that resistance zone breaks, until the yellow or orange level breaks, so until we break 91K or we break 109K, literally nothing has changed. Literally everything in between is actually noise. It's short-term noise. Does it affect the probability of us breaking to the upside of a downside based on the structures that occur in this macro range? Yes, it does, of course, but nothing's actually changed. It just affects probabilities of things changing. Now, the macro support zone is not just this yellow line here. There's a bunch of things we can look at. The other thing I really want to look at, though, is something that supports the yellow line right here at 91,000, and it's the longest ever trend line that you can find on the Bitcoin chart. I'm not exaggerating. It literally stems back from 2011. You can see it there on the screen. And if we zoom in, you can see just every single interaction we've had with this line on a longer term scale is valid, right? Interacting with it as resistance, interacting with it as support. I can flick through all the price action and circle every single moment, or you can just look here with your eyes, okay? Even the COVID drop right there, drops right here, rejection, support, retest, everything we have done in regards to this line from 2011, a 13 to 14-year-old line, has been valid, okay? Have we seen fake outs? Yes, fake outs exist on a line stemming backwards 14 years. That happens. But for the most part, this has been very, very coherent and accurate. And guess what? Right now, right? Not only right now, but the drop a month ago in January tested that line perfectly, bounced back up, and the drop just 2 days ago tested that line perfectly, and we're holding it for now. We don't have much room left to move. If I'm going to speak like a robot for the rest of the video, it'll take all day. But the point is, we're on support right now. We're on support on this line right here. We're on support, basically, more or less, on the line from the 2021 cycle. These are the levels that matters. These are the lines that matters. And they're both sitting at around 91,000. Now, can we go below 91,000? Yes, we can. And it wouldn't necessarily mean the bull market is over, as long as it's not a sustained drop. If we dip into the 86K region, for example, for a short period of time, you can't really say the bull market's over because of that. We have to remember, guys, when we're talking about the bull market being over, we're talking about the end of a trend that stems backwards from 2012. We have to be very, very careful in calling that too early, right? So I'm not really willing to say that if this line breaks, the bull market's over, right? That's, I think, ridiculously too soon to say that. There's many other things I'd be looking at, but it would be the first step towards something actually changing. Because so far, we have seen not a single change on Bitcoin since the start of November. For 3 consecutive months, we have been in the same range with the same resistance and support, and nothing has changed, regardless of your perception of the short-term changing. It's actually meant nothing. As for the short term, and as for when things could change, okay, when we could break up or break down, and by the way, I'm macro bullish. Bitcoin's in a 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle says it's not over. Therefore, I think it's not over until proven otherwise. So I am bullish. We have this formation specifically on the daily chart RSI, which I'm looking at. It's a triangle formation. You can see we're bouncing off support. We've been rejecting from resistance. Obviously, a breakout of this triangle will represent a shift in momentum, which will lead to a shift in momentum in the price chart and potentially a swing out of the macro structure. The problem is that triangle could last a bit longer, okay? It's not going to be reaching an apex until basically the start of March. So realistically, this consolidation could continue for a little while on Bitcoin. I don't really see any definitive proof that it will end very shortly. Unfortunately, I think it could continue for a little while longer. Unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't, but it certainly could. There's nothing on these charts right now that say the compression is extremely urgent. Now, the weekly chart Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten, but again, they haven't actually tightened. They're just rolling over now, and it could be a number of weeks before that tightening takes a massive effect and before we see actual significant compression that will lead to a breakout. Again, hopefully, we don't have to wait that long, but I'm just informing you that, it wouldn't be ridiculous if Bitcoin got boring here. Unfortunately, that's the truth. It's gotten boring a few times in recent history. 2023, it got boring for a long period of time. It got boring from basically from March all the way through to October, basically the bulk of the year. Last year, the same story. It got boring from March all the way through again to October, right? The last 2 Marches to Octobers have been boring. Look, it wouldn't be a surprise if we got boring here again on Bitcoin. I hope we don't. Do I think that we will get boring? That's a weird phrase to use. But do I think we'll get boring for as long as we did over here for 8 months? No, not at all. I don't think we have time to do so because we are in the 4-year cycle, and the 4-year cycle says October top. And generally speaking, we see a parabolic move between, obviously the 4-year cycle and the top. And we haven't really seen that too much yet. Yeah, we've seen a parabolic leg, but we haven't seen multiple legs, which is what we usually see. So I do think we will move, of course. But I'm just saying there's no urgency right now in when this move will take place. What I can say is if we're talking about the Bitcoin short term, which is kind of against the whole point of the video, I'm basically telling you not to worry about the short term. But if we are going to talk about it briefly, the level you should be looking at right now is 96,000. That has been a level for the last 3 days on Bitcoin that has acted as support. If we break below 96,000, we will almost certainly go for a retest of the macro support zone in yellow, which will be, again, a place in which you need to be paying very close attention. If we did that, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we just bounce upwards from here and start a new short-term upwards trend and start attacking resistance instead. Right? That would be very, very ideal. As for more short-term analysis, again, we're looking at that triangle formation right there on the daily chart, and we're also looking at the POC on the volume profile at around 97,000, which we are currently above as well. So basically, if we're talking about short-term, as long as Bitcoin's above 96K, everything's kind of good, right? If it goes below 96K, that's when we start getting very stressed again about the market. And as for the upside level on short term, we basically need to be seeing a daily candle close above this red level at 106,000, as that is where we've rejected from on 2 separate occasions. 3 separate occasions pretty much actually on daily candle analysis, and each time it's led to a pretty significant drop. So we're looking at 96,000 on short term, we're looking at 106,000 on the upside level on short term, and on macro ranges we're looking at around 110,000, and we're also looking around 91,000. These are the things that matter right now. You could be wondering, well, why doesn't altcoins matter? Why don't Ethereum matter? Why aren't you mentioning this? And I'm not mentioning it for a reason. Ethereum saw a massive drop. It did. It saw a massive drop, but it also saw a massive bounce. Okay, it bounced upwards 29% after dropping 40%. Right? It was just much more volatile in general, to the upside and to the downside. And not only that, but we dropped all the way to a very old support zone, and we bounced right back up to the current support zone. So we actually didn't really lose a macro support zone. We just dipped below it significantly. And we're still in it right now. Same thing with Total 3. The Total 3 broke down. It bounced right back to a prior macro support zone, but it's still kind of in the same price region it was before, more or less. And it's still kind of doing the same thing. It's still between support and resistance. And although we've seen a massive fluctuation, really, in terms of structure, which is what matters when we're talking about the cycle, nothing's really changed. So yeah, that's my analysis. That's my conclusion. Don't worry too much about short term right now. Worry about these levels that I've mentioned. They are the things that mattered then and matter now and will matter until they break. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, check out the Bitunix exchange. It's global, non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world with just an email address and a password. You don't even need to link your identity to the exchange if you don't want to. They've got 15% trading fee discount available with my referral link down below. So get even cheaper fees than the already cheap fees being offered on the exchange just by signing up with my referral link. They've never been hacked before. So you've got cheap fees and you've got safety. What more do you need on an exchange? That's very good. Use my link down below for that discount. Same deal on BitGet. The only difference is you cannot sign up from the USA. But another difference is, and this is a positive difference, they're top 5 in global trading volumes. It's a very popular exchange. You'll be in good company, right? Use my links down below for a 15% trading fee discount on whichever one you choose. And the last thing I'll mention is my VIP group on Telegram. We trade altcoins 4 times a week. In fact, on the drop, we had 2 significant trading plans reaching massive profits. So everyone was losing money. VIPs in many cases were actually making money. So if you're interested in that, you're interested in a group chat that comes with it as well, where you can share analysis of the markets 24/7 with other members, check it out, guys. It's on Telegram if you're interested. I'll catch you soon.